I am pleased to report that 8,363 Albertans have now recovered from COVID-19. We've conducted more than 7,813 new tests, and unfortunately, we have identified 141 additional new cases in the province. Currently, 93 people are in hospital, 16 of whom are in intensive care. 2 more Albertans have died, bringing the death toll to 172. As always, when we have additional deaths to report, this reminds us of the seriousness of this illness. I would like to extend my condolences to the family and friends of these 2 individuals and all those who have lost loved ones during this time. I am concerned by the continued rise in active cases. Our health system is watching the situation closely, but I want to be clear, we all have a role to play in reducing the rise in cases that we are seeing. If you have a child, a grandchild, a relative, or a friend in school this fall, think of them as you make decisions about your activities now. We need everyone's help in limiting the spread of this virus. The best way to have safe and healthy schools this fall is to start the school year with a low count of cases in the population. If you have a parent, grandparent, or relative who is older or has a chronic medical condition and at risk of severe outcomes, we need your help too. To protect those at risk of severe outcomes and to slow the recent rise in cases, we all need to do our part. We heard from Albertans a few months ago that they didn't need formal restrictions to be able to make the right choice to protect each other. Now is the time to show each other that that is correct. Now is the time to recognize that COVID cases and hospitalizations can rise quickly unless we all take actions every day to stop the spread.
I am pleased that our students will be returning to classrooms this fall under Scenario 1 of our school reentry plan. I know that many parents and children will be happy to go back to a near-normal school routine, and this was evident, as the Premier has indicated, in the Alberta School Councils Association survey, where 86% of respondents said they want their children back in school. I want to thank everyone in our education system, school boards, superintendents, teachers, staff, and parents for all of their feedback on the reentry plan and for all of their hard work for the upcoming school year. Come September, our school days will look mostly the same as before COVID-19, but with some modifications. On that front, Alberta Health has provided thorough guidance for Scenario 1. It covers a wide array of details, big and small, and offers suggested alternatives. This includes placing hand sanitizers at the entrances of our schools and in our classrooms, the frequent cleaning of surfaces, grouping students in cohorts, and planning the school day to allow for physical distancing. For a specific class example, such as in music classes, playing string instruments is preferred over wind instruments, and each school will have its own plan to allow for physical distancing whenever possible. The new normal COVID-19 environment requires all of us to make some adjustments to minimize the risk of transmission. And everyone will have a role to play so students and staff can stay safe in our schools. I know Dr. Hinshaw will have more to say on public health guidances shortly. I want to stress that we are determined to do everything that we can possibly do to safely return students to class. However, we will continue to adjust protocols as required on the advice of our Chief Medical Officer of Health and in consultation with the education system. We are confident that our plan will work. In fact, we are able to somewhat trial test it this summer when school authorities ran in-person summer school programming. School authorities such as Chinook's Edge, Calgary Catholic, Medicine Hat Public, and Progressive Academy have all run in-person summer school programming under the guidelines and have had no major issues. This is great news, and I am pleased to see that our plan is working. To help parents prepare for what to expect in the new school year, we have also created a Return to School toolkit. It includes videos, a parent guide, and other pertinent information. Parents and schools can find the toolkit on alberta.ca/return to school. I encourage parents to take the time to talk to their children about what school will look like in the fall and to watch the informative videos with them. I'm also glad to share with you today some of the additional steps our government and the education system have taken to support a safe return to school. For example, we've recently announced $250 million in additional accelerated capital school funding available to school boards. Some school boards chose to use about $15 million of that new funding to complete projects that will help support a COVID-19 learning environment. The upgrades include hands-free sinks, touchless soap and towel dispensers, and automatic doors, just to name a few. To give you an example of one of the projects the Edmonton Catholic School Division is utilizing, they are replacing water fountains with water bottle filling stations in all of their schools to protect their students from COVID-19. School authorities have also been receiving full funding allotments since July 1st. And every school authority in Alberta is receiving a funding increase for the upcoming school year. I've also approved the use of school board reserves, if needed, to help cover local COVID-19 related costs. Currently, we have approximately $363 million sitting in school board reserves across our province. Another change we've made in our government is that our government will now offer diploma exams in every subject in the November and April exam rounds, in addition to the January and June examinations. This is in response to response to a request from school boards who are shifting high school programming to a 4-semester system as part of their COVID-19 reentry plan. Students in participating schools will take fewer subjects in each semester so that they can be grouped in cohorts to minimize contact and make contact tracing easier. School boards in the Capital Region are among those favoring this particular approach. We are glad to be able to support their plan, and we will continue to respond to the needs of schools and students as we prepare for the upcoming school year. Now, I know some parents may be worried about what happens in case an outbreak occurs in a school. If a student or a staff tests positive for COVID-19, a public health team will investigate to determine when symptoms developed and will support the school to minimize the transmission. Parents will be notified if a case of COVID-19 is confirmed in their school, and public health officials will contact those who were in close contact with that person. I'm sure Dr. Hinshaw will have more to say on this very shortly. Additionally, if there is an outbreak of COVID-19 in a community or school, health officials will work with those school authorities and Alberta Education to make a decision to transition to partial in-class learning or at-home learning. Decisions will be based on multiple factors, including the number of cases in a community or school and the risk of ongoing transmission, and it will be made by our government. I want to thank everyone in our education system for helping us develop this comprehensive plan, and I want to again emphasize that we are determined to do everything we can to safely return students to class.